We know there is no shortage of food during the holidays, but here to tell us how to manage the sweets, treats, and everything in between is registered dietitian Kelly Gemmel. Welcome back into Studio 10. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
It is so great to have you back here again. But something I want to talk about is food during the holidays, because yes, it represents and symbolizes a lot of love, but for some people it brings a lot of anxiety too. And are you finding that a lot with your clients?
For sure. That's a big topic of conversation lately. Yeah.
So I know because of that, you're prepared to give us 5 tips that we can keep in the back of our mind to make this a little bit easier. Starting with Kelly, what it is that we put on our plate. Tell us about that.
So a great technique, and this is all the time, is trying to make half your plate vegetables. So that's a kind of a universal thing. I think most diets, nobody's going to tell you not to eat vegetables.
Right.
And vegetables are low cal. They're super healthy. They give us a lot of nutrients. So trying to make half your plate veggies is a really good, just baseline approach to trying to fill your plate, manage your plate.
All right, and that's the first thing we should do. As long as we get that half full, I think then we can kind of manage the rest then on top of that.
So you want to get a good source of protein, and you want to have your starches obviously too. And I think the starches are kind of where we get the imbalance going with the holidays in particular. But you know, aiming for that half of the non-starchy veggies is a great idea. Okay,
I like that. It's a good baseline to start. But tip number 2 is something you were saying that we should do is gauge our hunger. But I'm not sure exactly, what does that mean?
So I think that we get into the mentality of like, oh my gosh, there's so many things, and we're not even paying attention. Are we actually hungry? Or are you just eating because the food's there? So, you know, there's going to be a plate of cookies in the break room or donuts or whatever it is, and it's like, are you hungry? Do you actually want to eat right now? Is that something that you really love, that you really want to have a bite of? Or is it just the notion to eat it because it's there?
I think a lot of times we eat with our eyes. Rather than eating with our stomach and wondering if we are hungry.
Exactly.
Yeah, but taking a moment to think about that first before we start reaching and grabbing, it'll always be there.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, do you have a third rule of thumb as well?
I do, yes. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself permission to eat your favorite foods. So again, if that cookie in the break room is your absolute favorite cookie, have one. You know, and when you're going into a holiday party, and especially if it's your family party and you know your mom's pie is going to be there or your aunt's cake or whatever it is, give yourself permission to have that. It's okay. So having that, you know, foods are off limits mentality is kind of where we can get into trouble. So give yourself permission to have your favorite things and know that it's okay.
I really like that tip too, because you're letting us know, hey, you don't have to feel guilty for wanting a cookie. And I think sometimes in our mind we create that mentality that, you know, we shouldn't have this, we can't have that. But it's, if you're saying it's okay, Kelly, then I'm going to say it's okay. Now, that's a good mentality to have. Is there anyone that we should avoid?
Yeah, so the Last Supper mentality is, you know, it is a term out there. It's a term I like to use. So I think we get into this mentality of like, oh my gosh, this food's only available to me once a year, so I have to eat every single thing and I have to have a huge portion because I'm not going to have it again. Well, you will have it again. It's just food, and you don't want to eat till you're uncomfortable. So, you know, in the moment it might seem like I've got to meet this need, but really, do you really need to meet that need? So just moderation. Again, getting in touch with how your body feels, making sure you're not eating until you're overly full, taking a moderate portion. If you want to have more, you can go back. It's that simple.
I love that. And you're simplifying a lot of this. I love that. And now you've given us a lot of tips that we need to have, but are there any phrases we need? Because I know personally, sometimes in my family, you'll have family members that are like, eat, 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 pushing everything in front of you, and you don't want to sound rude and say no, but sometimes it's hard to figure out how to have that conversation.
So no thank you. That's it. You know, you can just say, oh gosh, that looks amazing, but no thank you, I'm really full right now. You can always, again, go back later if you have time later and you're still there and say, you know what, I do want a piece of that pecan pie that you made because I'm feeling better now. Or you can just simply state, you know, I'm just trying to avoid certain things right now, and I appreciate the offer, but I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, so there's a nice way to say it. I might have to say that twice.
And you might have to, and it's okay,
Okay, well, thank you so much for letting us know all of these tips, Kelly. I'm definitely going to make sure I keep this in my back pocket, and I know you guys at home will as well. But if perhaps you need more help or want one-on-one advice with Kelly, we have information right here at the bottom of your screen as to how you can book her. But until then, happy holidays, Kelly.
Happy holidays to you as well, and everybody out there.